The Joe trade took us by surprise.
I think everybody was a little bit shocked.
I was in shock.
I'm not surprised by anything at this point in the NFL.
Crazy business.
Not something that we saw coming. You know, they called us.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
Everyone was surprised about, the news.
Did I say shocked?
No, I wasn't expecting it at all.
I would say this. We're really going to miss Greg.
So, Monday afternoon, you didn't plan on trading Joe Flacco?
No.
We looked at each other and were like, what the hell?
What was your question again?
Yeah, Shador will be the backup.
I don't give a damn about the Browns at all. I don't think I've been able to keep any food down since we gave up that touchdown.
Not doing enough to win at the moment.
God bless everybody. Go Browns.
We didn't do our job to finish the game.
Are you guys recording me?
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Browns in Pittsburgh today to take on the Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. That's the scene for the 1 o'clock kickoff this afternoon in a game you'll see right here on CBS 19. That's the shot in Pittsburgh. We are right now at the Aviator, right by the airport. It's fantastic out here. Stop on by, say hi. We're here for about an hour to do the show. With me, Josh Cribbs, Reggie Langhorn. I know the Steelers are the opponent today, and we're going to talk a lot about that, but there was plenty of news this week in the run-up to the game. 2 trades, Flacco gone, Greg Newsome gone. More could be made. This looks like a team saying, we're out on 2025. If you're in that locker room, how do you feel?
I don't know if anyone's saying that we're out based on the schedule that we have coming down the pipe. There's a good chance you could put on a good run and get some wins, and who knows what's happening in our division. Nobody's really winning other than Pittsburgh winning a few games. So if you beat those guys today, it gives you a great opportunity to put yourself in the forefront. The thing for me with all of the guys that got traded, Joe, I understand exactly why. Cincinnati needs a quarterback. The Browning kid is not playing well. But on the other hand, Greg Newsome, Josh, who made that phone call? When did that become a thing? How do you take a guy from Jacksonville and look at Greg Newsome and say, we want your guy, you want our guy, and how? I never understood that.
And for me, I thought it was a huge question mark because Greg Newsome, in my opinion, fit nicely in the Jim Schwartz scheme.
Right.
Like, he bought into the scheme. He was a part of the trio between him, Martin, MJ, and Denzel Ward. However, when you look at it, they as a defensive group might have gave the okay, like, this guy is just as good when a call was made. I think that call was perpetrated from the Jaguars. I think they wanted to make a change because for us as a team, as an organization, you don't go out there and search for washes. This, to me, was kind of a wash in a trade. I think they were done with that kid from Jaguars. I forgot his name. Tyson Campbell. They were done with him, but we felt like it was a wash. I'm sure Schwartz was in on it to whereas there was a notion of, can this guy play in your system? Sure. And then it was made and the trade was made. But when you look at it, a 7 for a 6, I think, in general, we lost that trade unless Tyson shows up in the game.
Did we get a better football player? I guess that would be the thing, and that's to be determined. We don't know enough about this young man to decide whether or not he can play in this system, which is, for me, a big deal. If a guy plays in one system for, just say, this season, and now you can see where he's going to fit your system, I think it makes sense. But until they play, until we see what happens today,
absolutely,
we won't know.
Right.
Let me ask you guys something. Take off your former player and analyst hat and put on.
It's going to be hard. Go ahead.
You should be good at this. You're great. Put on the hat of being a current guy in that locker room. 2 veterans traded. There's rumors. Whether or not it happens, there's rumors of guys like Bitonio and Teller and Njoku and others that could get moved. How are you feeling after these moves?
Well, we it depends on as well what year you are. Are you a rookie or you're a veteran? Veterans understand the nature of the NFL, the business of the NFL. It happens because a lot of the veterans probably came from another team anyway. It's business. So they look at it as chess moves on the chessboard. They are, friends, though. And so you miss your friend, your colleague, your guy you played cards with, your guy you battle with on the field. Other than that, though, you're looking out for your own livelihood and the name on the back of your jersey.
And that's usually how it is. Of course, if a friend of mine is going to get traded to go somewhere else, I'm concerned about what's going to happen to him, that he's not with us anymore. But as I look at this football team and I see if you're going to get rid of all of the guys that actually are sound veteran players, I mean, they could be great voices in the locker room that has held the team together, and then they're gone. You start saying, well, why am I Myles Garrett or Denzel Washington or Joe Bitonio? Why am I still here? You keep telling me every week we're trying to get better. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. And you're getting rid of all the guys that are actually the better guys on the team. So I don't believe in a quit system. I don't believe in taking a fall for what's going to happen down the future. I believe in every Sunday, you only get so many. You only get that many opportunities to play in the National Football League. Then I want my best out there every week. And I don't want somebody telling me that we're getting ready for the draft in 26. Fooey on the draft in 26. Let's play today, you know? Fooey.
Oh,
I know you want to use a different choice.
Right.
It's a family program, gentlemen, and I appreciate you keeping it that way. Hey, which team can run the ball better? We got to get into this later today. We'll talk some Judkins and stuff because the Browns are taking on the Steelers. Much to unpack. Tailgate off and running here on 19 from the Aviator.
What your
Don't
reaction
care.
is.
I don't give a damn about the Browns at all. I care about the Colorado Buffaloes. I do love me some Shedeur Sanders, don't believe that. I care about him. The rest of that mess, I don't.
Now, Bench Strength, sponsored by Wayside Furniture.
Coach Prime cares exactly a little bit about one guy, and it's that guy. It's his kid. I get it. But, I mean, can you tell you, yeah, I want the Browns to do well? No, doesn't give a rip. All right, Shedeur named the backup, so, yes, we're going to go with him for the bench strength. If he's been named the backup, you have to think he's shown enough, the one, where they feel comfortable moving on from Joe, but two, they say, all right, you know what? We already think he's better than Bailey Zappi, who's been in the league a few years.
Yeah, we've seen enough, you know, as a fan base and as former players that Shedeur Sanders can play in the NFL if needed to, when called upon. So I understand, regardless of what the coaches feel, and they could put their expertise on it. Well, this and this, we know that he can play and he can throw the rock. So it's more of a, does he fit in my system? Can I call this? Do I have to transform my playbook to meet him? I don't think so. It hasn't shown that, and we all felt like he was the guy that fit best in Coach Stefanski's offense anyway. Pocket passer, a guy that can elude and keep the chains moving. So I think it's just him waiting on the opportunity. And Deion, that's the most politically correct answer that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has ever gotten. I've ever seen him. I think it's on purpose. He doesn't want to be a distraction for his son. So I'm not sure he was meaning to say, I don't care about Cleveland. He's basically saying, and I saw it from the interview, that's not my concern. I'm a coach for the Colorado Buffaloes. I love my son, in other words. And that's basically what he said, and we all know it.
My grandmother always said what they say is what they feel. And he obviously could care less about the Browns, and based on that, it's because of how things went in the preseason, how things have gone thus far. The fact that he wasn't going to be told that he was going to be the backup this week, early in the week, because that was his time to move forward. You get rid of Joe, it's a normal progression for him to move up. Now, whether or not he is going to be a great quarterback or a good quarterback, I don't know if the preseason tells me enough. I know what he did in Colorado was absolutely a nice job leading that team down the field, scoring a lot of points, having a high percentage. I think all those things are good. But he's in the place where he wants to be. He's got to wait his turn. Dylan Gabriel, a third-round pick, is normal. It's normal for him to get a chance first. And he hasn't done anything. I don't think he's done anything to hurt himself. But this is a problem for me. The problem is he's not going to be always available to throw 6, 7, 8-yard routes. Somebody's got to push the ball down the field.
Yep.
I mean, we've got to find a way to score points. So you can put anybody in there kind of to do that. I can throw some little 4-yard and 5-yard dink and dunks.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about playing a position, throwing the ball 20 yards over the middle, hitting the balls outside. I mean, if you're going to play quarterback, if Kevin Stefanski wants to win football games and really see what his guys got, turn them loose and let them play.
Push it downfield.
Yeah, turn them loose.
Yep. Sometimes you got to get it downfield. Sometimes you got to get it to the boundary. You got to step up and make a big boy throw. We haven't seen Gabriel in that position yet. Quinshon Judkins has played an absolutely big boy role. This dude is fun. He's the one guy, when they get the ball to him on offense, to me, you sit up, you're like, oh, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Right, and I was hoping for some type of production from the other one, from Dylan. The running back, Sampson. More production from him, and you see how Ford kind of overtaken his role because of the lack of production from Sampson. I want the two-headed monster. I don't want Quinshon to have to carry the brunt of the offense like he did for the Vikings. It does, however, keep us in manageable situation when you can hand the ball off to a dog and he'll get 3 or 4 in a cloud of dust. So I think for the Steelers this game, they're going to look at just daring us to throw the ball and trying their best to stop Quinshon Judkins.
I know that we thought Ford was a pretty decent running back, and the Sampson kid did a nice job in the preseason. But you can see the difference between Judkins running the football. It's a big jump as far as – it tells you, again, there's more talent to be welcomed here to Cleveland, that we haven't gotten the best players that we deserve to get, and that's on the front office and coaching staff to put them in the best situations to win.
He just looks different than everyone else with the ball. This is a shot of the grave of Andy Warhol, which is in Pittsburgh. And this is apparently a big deal in Pittsburgh. And I asked producer Chris, I'm like, where do you even get video of this? And he said, they live stream it.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So there you go. That's what's happening right now. You are looking live at the grave of Andy Warhol.
I'm not very knowledgeable, but are we waiting for him to rise?
I don't know. I mean, there's only one guy that did. It was 2,000 years ago. The camera would have been helpful.
Myles Garrett graveyard for quarterbacks.
Oh, my goodness. Tailgate continues here on 19. That's what's cooking in PA.
The Injury Report, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
All right, the injury report, bumps and bruises. Jalen Ramsey was listed as questionable in this game. It sounds like he is going to play. This is a guy that was at one point one of the elite top names at corner in the NFL. He's now on his 4th team. He's still making a lot of money. How good is this guy right now?
He's a solid football player. I don't think he's the guy that he was 4 or 5 years ago, and he's gone through some injuries, and he's moved around quite a bit. You don't hear much about him from his tactics on the field because he was always overly aggressive or had a lot of problems against other wide receivers. But he's a solid player. But, the way our receivers have been playing, it doesn't matter what he does. I mean, we just don't have anybody out there explosive enough to cause problems. We need a receiver that's going to figure out a way, one, catch the ball, because receive means to catch. And the other one is to get open, make catch.
Into the job description.
Right, yards after catch. Exactly. I mean, so you don't really need to have someone exceptional out there against our receivers right now. So I'm not standing there and walking.
Two touchdown catches for you in the fourth quarter, one for T. Does it begin with trying to get you two guys the ball as much as possible?
I think we've been doing that. I think it's just a tough task when everybody knows what the hell we doing. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we got to work harder, get the ball to us. We got to work harder as a unit.
Now the Pigskin Poll, sponsored by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers.
All right, Hyundai Pigskin Poll. We do this every week. We take a question, we put it on the news. We say, hey, Go to the website. Tell us what you think. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to see what the folks think. Who's doing the worst job right now in the AFC North? John Harbaugh, Baltimore's terrible right now. Zach Taylor, Bengals are terrible right now. Kevin Stefanski, I don't need to tell you, the Browns are terrible right now. I'm going Harbs here, but I want to know what you guys have to think.
Well, I'm looking at between those three teams, you have 4 wins out of close to 20. So I'm going to split the difference and go 33.3, 33.3, 33.3. They're all horrible. They all are playing bad. All their teams have 1 or 2 wins. Actually, Cincinnati has 2 wins.
Okay, and that doesn't make Zach, the loser in that, right?
Right.
That's all I'm going by is statistics, right? So just putting all the human emotion out of it, I'm going to say Coach Stefanski, and it's not because he's actually the worst coach in there. It's because look at what the other coaches are dealing with.
What they had to lose.
Their main guys are down, injured.
Yeah.
Our main guy was just not good enough. I mean, he was just we shipped him out of here.
Yes.
So with Coach Kevin Stefanski, we love him. He's the the guru. He's been in a situation where he had to pull a rabbit out of a hat, and he won Coach of the Year for it. He has to actually keep that going to keep his stat. As a coach, you don't get worse. You're supposed to become seasoned and get better. Not that he's not going to become that, but right now he's on the bottom of that list only because those guys lost to Lamar Jackson. Those guys lost to Joe Burrow and are trying to salvage their teams. And if they do salvage, they may have a chance to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. But if you look at the issues surrounding your team, they have faced worse odds than Coach Kevin Stefanski.
Well, and this is why I would go Harbaugh. I mean, you're right. He does not have Lamar Jackson right now. Lamar was healthier longer than Joe Burrow was.
Right.
He has fewer wins than Zach Taylor, who hasn't had Joe Burrow for a longer period of time. And we always hear how the Ravens are just this up and down, better organization, better defense, better this, better everything, and they somehow only have 1 win. So that's why I would go hard.
Isn't that Cooper Rush playing for them out there right now?
Cooper Rush.
Don't expect a lot, brother.
No.
That's second.
Don't
That's
expect
the second team for me. It'll be Stefanski, then Harbaugh, then Zach.
Right.
Because if you look at in the coaching world, if you give Tomlin that team, would he win? Look at who he has today.
Yeah.
He wins. He always becomes 500 on a year, and then he finds a way to do it.
And he muscles his way to that first-round exit. Let's see what the folks have said about the poll here. You kind of know where this is going. Look at that.
We hate our coaches.
80% saying Kevin Stefanski is doing the worst job. Apparently, he should be doing more with less.
This is probably not the week that you wanted to run this poll either. After coming off that loss from last week, I mean, they got to have a chance.
I would even say that. I went to London. I sat 8 hours on a flight, and my flight arrangements need to have been changed. But it was okay because I was going to root for the Dogs, and we didn't win. So that flight home was terrible for me. Even for the Browns fan, it was as quiet as I ever saw a Browns fan.
The thing for me last week, and I'm probably never going to be able to understand this part about the way things are done with our football the team. When you have the lead and the ball in less than 4 minutes to go, you're not supposed to lose those games. I don't know if it goes from the position coach to the coordinator to the head coach to emphasize where we are, what needs to be done, and then the quarterback re-emphasizes it.
4-minute football is
correct.
practice.
Absolutely. Because there's no way that my team is going to do what they did and leave the defense out there again.
Right. We got to get to break. That's the scene in Pittsburgh. Well, what do you know? They actually can take a nice picture out there. Tailgate continues here on 19. We're going to keep the lights on the rest of the program, I swear. Back in a flash.
Good waking up on a 4-win team.
Yeah, no, that was the biggest difference. Like, obviously, like, in Cleveland, you're sitting there mad, like, we got to find a way. And then when I get here, I'm like, wow, like, we just won. Like, obviously I didn't play, but we just won. So, yeah, no, it feels amazing.
Follow the money. Sponsored by Cardinal Credit Union.
All right, we're going to follow the money here. We're going to go back to the trade between Newsom and Campbell, and they play the same position. So you get a corner for a corner and a low-round draft pick for a low-round draft pick. So sometimes it's like, man, what's going on here? There's one other element in play, and that's the contract situation. Newsom is a free agent after the year. Tyson Campbell has a bunch of years left, 3 more years left on his deal. He just got that 4-year, $76.5 million extension. What does money have to do here? Jacksonville is clearly winning, so they're not selling off pieces, but there had to be some consideration here. What do you guys think of it from that lens?
It definitely was, when you look at it about money. When you look at it from both teams, it's like, it's kind of wash. And why would we make that change when he was a guy? And if you look at where we are now and you look at what's going on, that made sense financially to make, to possibly free up some money here and there. But you will have to see the numbers for each line and what each guy is suspected to make this year, and then what we will possibly have to pay Newsom, who's up for a contract. So those things are unknown to us unless, they just was worried about having to pay Newsom for playing decent this year and then him holding out or this situation prolonging. So now we got a guy who's under, who we may look at, possibly replacing him next year, and we're doing it earlier. And I feel like that's the case here.
Yeah, I think you need more information to figure all that stuff out. I mean, I don't know. We won one game. We get rid of a guy that's been there for 3 or 4 years. He's been reasonably a pretty solid guy. You can see he's still got a lot of energy, plays tough, and shows up every week. So I don't understand it. We'll see how this guy plays today. Campbell plays well for us down the road. It is what it is. But the numbers, I don't know enough to make sense of it. I'm not one of those smart guys.
I want to go around the AFC, and we're going to stick with the trade of Joe Flacco now to the Bengals. They are obviously trying to save their season. Does he help them a whole lot? I mean, they got Jamar, they got T, they got the weapons that way that the Browns didn't have, but he wasn't hitting. He couldn't find Jerry Jeudy here.
They're hoping he helps them better than Browning. I mean, it's a hope, but we feel like we sent them, a saboteur. Like
it's a Trojan horse.
A Trojan. I don't feel like they're going to have success. I think the best years of Flacco, we last saw it the last game of the season a few years ago against the Texans. That was his last great game, and then we had a terrible game in the playoffs, and I don't think he's rebounded since. I think prove us wrong, right? And that's what NFL players are paid to do. If he proves us wrong, he'll probably play again, have another season. But I just don't see the success for them with Flacco at the helm.
Well, he's got more talent around him, but their offensive line is still what it is, not good.
Right.
Their defense is what it is, not good. So he fills a spot that the kid Browning just was not able to score points for Cincy. So Joe did well when he came here the first time and lit it up. He's got some nice guys out there. I wish him well.
And we got a fifth round out of it as well.
And we got a fifth-round guy, yeah.
I thought the Bengals overpaid, frankly.
Well, because you're a Bengals fan.
Well, I don't know how much he's actually going to help them.
Well,
so it is what it is. Did you guys see? There is somebody made a great little meme for the internet as we get out of here. The Bengals players, to get to the practice field, they got to cross this little street, whatever. Right. And they said, Joe Flacco preparing to play behind the Bengals offensive line by playing in traffic. And I'm like, that's right about where they're at. Yeah, that's kind of where they're at.
I think I saw a stat that says that Joe could be one of the first guys to win a game in the same season against the same team.
Yes.
That's pretty
playing
cool.
for two different teams.
Right, two different
Green
teams.
Bay today. He's first guy to do it in like 50, 60 years. Acrisure Stadium, the scene today. Please win. Because you know what we haven't talked about? We're all tired of losing in that building. I'm just sick of it. The place is a dump. We have miserable afternoons there. I hate it. I got to go. We're not done yet. Tailgate continues.
Around the AFC, sponsored by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
In my career, yeah, it's looked as cocky, immature. Now it's moxie. He's a dog. Same different day. As long as you play well, they change the narrative. But you just got to be yourself, and I've always been like that.
Now the Quick Picks, sponsored by your local Kia dealers.
All right, quick picks. We want to talk Baker because this is something you got to bring it up. You got to talk about it. He's doing great. He's having an MVP caliber season. What does his success say about Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns?
I don't think nothing. I think he left at a point where he still had he was on a rise for his career base. So we saw the ceiling for him, not necessarily the end point. He still had good football in him. We knew that. But we felt as at Baker at that time, his 1 to 3 year mark had a ceiling. And he reached it. So we root for him. I still root for him to have success. But at the time we had him, he was not going to be the Baker of today. He had to leave to become the player, the type of athlete, the type of quarterback that he is now.
It's embarrassing. It's just simply embarrassing, the fact that he's playing so well. Because I think a general manager, a head coach, one especially that is supposed to be a guru of quarterbacks and of offensive plays and calling plays and all that, they thought that Baker was going to be an average quarterback at best, and he far surpassed that. And he went through the stuff that he went down in Carolina, went out to the Rams, and now he's found a home at Tampa Bay. I wish him success. We all thought that Deshaun Watson was going to be good enough for the Cleveland Browns to lead them somewhere. That didn't work. And so whenever you do something bold and it doesn't work, you get the same criticism just because you made that choice.
You do, but I don't think this is not a mishap like Saquon Barkley when you let that guy go and you think there's no market for him, because he had success the very next year. He had success the next year after that as well. Baker had to hop around for a few teams to find a niche, to find his space, and he needed the controversy. He needed to overcome that to be able to be him.
I don't think it matters whether it was the next year, the next 3 years. The fact is, we're talking about Baker Mayfield right now.
Let me ask you something, Reg.
And Deshaun Watson is still getting paid right now.
We didn't have time as a franchise to keep him around to hopefully he become the quarterback he is now.
But you picked him. He's a Heisman winner.
This organization didn't pick him.
All right, so to Josh's point, I'm going to go back to a guy that played when you played, Chris Carter, who was infamously drafted by the Eagles. They cut him loose.
Buddy Ryan said he'd never play again.
And then he goes to the Minnesota Vikings and has a tremendous career. And Chris Carter said, I am not the player I am on the Vikings if I do not get cut in Philadelphia for those reasons. Could that be that situation here, that if Baker is still here and never goes through the things he went through, that he doesn't turn into that guy?
He's going to have a movie. There should be
the
a movie
30 for 30 is going to be great.
Baker was a walk-on. He walked on and became a Heisman. Then he was cut from the team that drafted him at number 1, and then look at the success he's had. I want to see that movie. I want to see that and have my son look at that and forget D1, forget you can walk on and become. It's proven. He's the type of guy who's making his own path and leaving crumbs for others to follow.
And in so many NFL stories, sports stories, swimming, whatever the story may be in sports, there's guys that have left places and fell apart. And there's guys that have left places and had success. So we could pull out a whole lot of different stories. But, yes, in a good movie it would be, I'm going to buy some stock in Baker, right? I mean, it's nice to see him play. I love to see guys do well.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to see
glad
guys.
for him.
You don't want to see guys fail.
I love that. I love to watch the good comeback story.
The inactives are out. No surprises here for the Browns. And they did announce one flip card change to Cam Robinson will start at left tackle. He played a lot last week. I think that we all saw that coming. So, fortunately, no drama there. All right, we are going to head to the break. Much to discuss here still on the tailgate, including Aaron Rodgers and this guy, DK Metcalf. He is huge. How will the Browns try to handle him? We'll talk about it next as we go out with the Art Rooney statue. I don't think this is a live stream. I think this is just a straight photograph. Tailgate continues from the Aviator.
2 times a year, guys are going to start build hatred towards each other.
You want to make sure you talk to a bunch of the guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I don't care.
Sustainability, we always talk about it.
We're not playing bad ball, you know.
We're a couple plays away from being, 3-2, and another play away from being, 0-5.
You know, if you get talking a little bit, I like to talk.
They don't want to look too far ahead, but do you take...
As we start to look ahead, go ahead. Seems like with this, that kind of the rivalry is with the Browns.
They got to stop us every down that we line up.
If they want to start talking, I'm down for that. I'm down for all that smoke.
Miles is a Hall of Famer. He might not be in yet, but that's where he's going.
I'd be honored to put him in the graveyard.
We know them, they know us.
Personally get any hate as compared to any other road stadium?
For sure. And I love
Now, who needs to deliver? Sponsored by Jets Pizza. Jets, better because it has to be.
All right, Aaron Rodgers has certainly revitalized the tail end of his career. He's been strong, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's thrown to DK Metcalf, came over in the offseason trade from Seattle. The Browns obviously just moved on from Newsom. Campbell's fine, but he's new. Metcalf is a massive physical specimen. What kind of a problem is he for them today?
Well, he'd be a problem because he doesn't necessarily have to outrun our DBs, which are on the smaller side. If he's matched up against a Denzel Ward, you just mess up his timing. And a guy like DK Metcalf can just box him out to catch the ball like he's catching a rebound in basketball. To get a guy like this underwater, you want to, confuse the offense and mix up man and zone so that you got a guy over the top. If you catch it, you can immediately hit him or distract him and mess up his timing so that he doesn't get down the field. He's fast, but he's not fast enough. Guys that we have in the back end.
It'd be nice to see that if we can contain him for like that 2.5, 3 seconds, that Aaron Rodgers likes to get rid of the football and make him look at number 2. So if you got him all locked down and he doesn't see color, but Rodgers is used to be, I don't know if he still is, but he used to be so efficient of where he placed the football that the size of DK Metcalf would make life real easy for him because like Josh just said, he can box guys out. But if we can get Miles and the other guys pushing the pocket back, Rodgers is not the young guy that can run around a whole lot now, and we can get him to hold the ball and it's not go to 1. You want him to go to number 2 or number 3. Therefore, it entails that our defense will play good football.
We have to force them to nickel and dime football. One thing our defense can't do, exactly, we can't give up big plays, a lot of a lot of yards after catch to where we're missing a tackle for short yardage and give up a big play or a big play down the field. If we cannot do that and limit that, our defense will play well, and it'll be, again, on our offense to create some type of momentum to keep our defense off the field and score points. You got to score points to win the game. It's just no way around it. Can't count on our defense trying to block a punt, block a field goal, catch an interception in the red zone to give you a go-ahead score. You can't count on that every week.
Some of the best gifts that you can give your defense is a good offense.
Good offense, yes, sir. Two of the defensive players in this game, obviously 2 of the best in the league. It's Myles Garrett and it's T.J. Ward, 2 guys that are pretty much always in the defensive player of the year conversation. TJ, what did I say?
Ward.
Oh, he was a good player for the Browns.
The dog. That's the Cleveland Browns.
So I mean, it's the tail of the tape with these two. The numbers are always pretty close. The double team, if you really get into the analytics, Garrett is double teamed way more than Watt.
And triple team.
Yeah, and that's why I think a lot of people say Garrett is better. He causes
I don't think
more
it's in question. I don't think when you look at a guy who you rather have, high percentage, 90% of the people will say they prefer Garrett because of the level of difficulty it takes to prepare and block him.
And what I like about this opportunity today, every time these two teams play throughout their careers, there's somebody in the announcing booth, and all they're going to do, well, Myles Garrett this or J.T. Watt here, it's back and forth. So those two guys get amped up to play against each other, even though they're never on the field at the same time, but they like to have victorious situations like today.
I don't appreciate the T.J. Watt. I swear this guy's a little pouty. Like when he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year. He gets really chippy on social media, and I'm just like, aren't a player of your level? Are you supposed to be griping about this? And there's some stuff in there. You see plays where he doesn't always play clean. I'm not a big fan of the dude. Sure, he's a nice guy, but on Sunday between 1 and 4, I don't care for him.
He's looking at stats a lot, right? And real football, you look at the film. We see whole tight end groups, tackle groups shifting along with Myles Garrett. I'm not saying T.J. Watt doesn't he's not accounted for in the offense.
Right.
But when you completely change your offense for one guy
yes.
on one side of the – and then you shift your whole offense around because he's moving around, that guy may have a little bit edge on you. yes. I mean, 3 guys – you have him on film with 3 guys trying to block one guy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You used to see that with Bruce Smith and Reggie White. I mean, that kind of guy. All right, Tailgate continues right after this from the Aviator. We are at the Aviator for Tailgate. Oh, yeah, they do the buffet. They do the brunch on Sundays. They do such a fantastic job. Come on out. Have a good time. Bring the family. This place is phenomenal for events, for just going to dinner, whatever it is. They're also promoting their whiskey and wing night, hence the wings and the whiskey. We were told about this. I'm like, you had me at whiskey and wings. So here's the deal. Every Wednesday at the Aviator, whole wings in 7 flavors, $2 each, minimum of 3. It's dine-in only, so you can't take them out of here. They also have a whiskey flight menu featuring 8 different flights of whiskey.
It's hard to divide 7 into 3.
It really
so
is.
Somebody's not
going
to get one.
And there's 7 wings.
He's looking at you.
We also got the crew. I know. I'm going to be.
Somebody's not getting.
Somebody's just going to hand me a whiskey, I guess. Here's the thing.
Receiver and the returner here. I don't think you're going to win.
Wings are phenomenal, and we always talk a lot about the sauces when you talk about wings. A good dry rub.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
You keep saying it. I'm salivating.
I'll let you have all 3 whiskeys, and then I'll have the dry rub.
You want the dry rub.
Yeah.
A good dry rub is so underrated in the wing world. The wing community is really coming around.
I like that.
To the dry rubs.
The wing community.
Which is everything's a community these days, right?
You got to say that.
Everyone's on a journey, and everything's a community. I want to talk about Mike Tomlin. We all talk about his success, and even when they're not very good, he finds a way to get them to the playoffs, and now they just go out in the first round because they don't have a dynamic quarterback. But, I mean, this guy practically never loses to the Browns, The Browns haven't won in Pittsburgh in the regular season in like 23 years.
Despite valiant effort, I might add.
Right.
Most of my touchdowns,
about it.
I am definitely talking about our special teams. I would score multiple times. Phil Dawson would we would be winning with 6 minutes left in the game. And this is when they had these Hall of Fame guys, Ben Roethlisberger's, Troy Polamalu.
So did you ever beat him in Pittsburgh?
Not in Pittsburgh, even though we would be leading late in the fourth quarter. We had to come to Cleveland on the Thursday night for us to beat them in the cold, rainy Cleveland weather running the Wild.
So this is the difference of your group and my group. My second year, we went there and broke a 17-year jinx, and we never had a problem
Well,
with
they didn't have Mike Tomlin and Hall of Famers.
They had Chuck Noll. They had Chuck Noll.
He went on to have an okay career.
My brother, who's got quite a few rings.
That's one guy. They had multiple and
your
they
football
always
and my football were a little different.
They were always in the playoffs, always a Super Bowl contender. Yes, our football was different than your football. I might add on that.
This is how the Browns feel, because a lot of them, they grew up with Reg and that group, and then they
all
left.
love Josh, though.
And then they came back, and they had, how earlier in the show,
we all love Josh.
We did everything we could.
I understand.
I left my cartilage out there on the field.
Do you remember? It was earlier in the show. You said the offense shouldn't have to be you shouldn't put your defense in a position where they have to make a play. You should not have been put in a position where you had to run every kickback for them to win a dang game.
Or have the quarterback come to me in confidence and say, we need you on this.
This is the greatest story.
You're the quarterback, bro. We need a big return. Put us in scoring position.
Did you ever tell this story on this show?
I did not.
I did. In other words, Josh, you score because I'm afraid to.
They looked at
had a quarterback begging for this guy to win a game.
I mean, and that's an issue when football is the biggest team sport. It takes a dog. It takes all the dogs to come together and play like a dog. I think that term is used too frivolously. A dog will show up any chance he has the ability to make a play. That's how dogs show up. And if you have a team full of dogs, more than the other team, usually you're victorious.
Though they always say that the head coach is where the energy or shows from the team resembles what the head coach is.
Absolutely.
Mike Tomlin exudes a lot of things, and winning football is one. And what do we have, Josh?
Absolutely. Hey, I'm not. Don't set me up for the
for the kibosh.
Yes, I concur. I concur.
Right.
But I think this game will come down. If you look at it, we have dogs out there on the field. Will they show up? Will they show up in this game? And I think it has to show up on the offense side of the ball.
And the Cleveland Browns are not the worst team in the National Football League. There are going to be opportunities for our team to score points, play sound football, and beat Pittsburgh. The key for me is get Dillon to move the chains and get touchdowns and not field goals. The defense just play it sound and do exactly what you've been doing. We cannot have penalties. You can't be first and goal and end up 3rd and 20. We can't do that. You can't have fumbles and interceptions. If they play solid, they win today.
As a fan, I'm skittish. I'm prepared for the worst, and I'm hoping for the best. My emotions will not be heavily involved in this game. I will watch the game with a side eye, for sure. Walking back and forth, watching the game. I will not be emotionally
That ain't the characteristics of a dog right there.
I'm not a dog in the game anymore.
We got about a minute left.
I left my dog on the field.
We got a minute. Since we're doing story time with Josh, we got about a minute left. You were in London.
Yes.
You got a Steelers guy cheering for the Browns because he doesn't know what to do?
Blasphemy. I looked at him and said, this is blasphemy. You're not supposed to do. And he's like, I'm bloody London. I mean, he talked with the accent. I'm okay, you don't understand the rivalry. We don't commingle as a fan base unless you're married by law. That's the only way you'll have Browns and Steelers co-mingling in the same tailgate is if they're married or by law.
Yeah, right.
If it ain't by law, you got to go. You got to get out of here.
Steeler guy cheering for the Browns. It's like that's not how this works.
No.
That's not how any of this works.
It's blasphemy.
Today, Browns and Steelers, you got it here in 19 and a 1 o'clock kick and a double dip. The Joe Flacco-led Cincinnati Bengals going on the road to try to knock off the Packers in a 4:25 start. Guys, it's been so much fun from the Aviator. I love coming out here. They do a great job. Let's make it happen every week. Let's just come on out here all the time. It's fantastic. They're going after the wings. I'm about to get tackled by these guys. For Josh Cribbs and Reggie Langhorne, I'm Mark Schwab. Go Browns! See ya!